Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. A day in which this old guy gets to prattle on inanely about his usual nonsense. An intro indicative of both self-deprecating humor and increased lower self-esteem. Yay! Hopefully you are feeling awesome this fine day. Whoever happens to be watching, it is awesome that you are watching. Greatly appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up. I have written down some things to talk about because I look exhausted. I look very tired. But I slept last night. Not forever or great. I think it must have been maybe 5 hours. And I can't tell how well I slept because I slept through it. But I slept. And that's a good thing. I went a-walking, and I stopped off at the local pot shop, and I downed a shot, tossed all that stuff away. You can't bring it on to the facility here. And since I need a place to live, I take care of that stuff where I'm not going to be jeopardizing anything. Downed a shot, got back, played around, took all of my other meds, took my gummies, melatonin, 24 milligrams, and then when I went to bed, slept. And on the days that I do actually sleep by doing that, I just look exhausted. And I don't know why, because I feel pretty good. So that's a good thing. I mean, I have a sleep deficit that I would have to work, a good deficit to work off. And by the time let me start that again in English. I have a sleep deficit that is at least a decade deep. If I went into a medically induced coma to work off that sleep debt, I would probably pass away from old age before I worked off all of my sleep debt. So thumbs up for that. But I do feel pretty good. I mean, I'm still tired, but that's the way I've been my whole life. Let's see what else I have. Past that, the way things were with being so tired yesterday, all I did yesterday was not much. I watched videos, largely. I played some video games, some mostly Paint the Town Red. Excuse me. Ooh, needed to burp. Mostly Paint the Town Red. I have some pretty... It allows you to make a GIF. Anytime you see something particularly funny or violent for you that you want to save, you just hit escape. And in the corner is the GIF creator. And yes, I pronounce it GIF because the creator, from the comments of the source code, he called it GIF. And since that's the way I heard it growing up, that's the way my growing up, as in the time that I was learning computer stuff. I was already grown up by the time I got my first computer, a Commodore VIC-20 with a massive 4 kilobytes of RAM. So, where was I coming from with that? God's above, I love ADHD. The ADD portion of it again. Yeah, I can't even remember where I was going with that. Yanked right out of my head. I am so sorry, everybody that watches, though I imagine a lot of people have clicked off at that. It's that kind of day. Still, though, what I am going to suddenly shift over and start talking about, since wherever I was talking about, I got vague inklings of it. If it comes back, then I will talk about it, but otherwise it's gone. The problem with ADHD/ADD is you have one track of thought. There's no pause track, there's no secondary track. You can't go off on a tangent with everything else, put on a remember this when you come back to it, area. You've got one track. And if you can't remember what's directly behind you, it's gone. You're going on the track. The track? On the track. It's this thought. The next time you get a thought, you go off on that tangent. That's the only track you have. So I will frequently go off on a track, forget why I got there, and then forget what it was that brought me there. Which is fun when I go out walking. And you can trust me when I say it is intensely frustrating because I enjoy thinking. I hate so much what has been taken from me by the conditions that I have. Sure, some of them I could fight through, but the thing is, it's fighting all the time to do it. I used to have, when I was younger, again, like in my high school age years, and I used to have a different book for every room in our household. And as I walked into that room, I would read that book. And then when I left, I would put it down and then pick up the book in the next room. And I kept everything straight in my head. And as I got older, more and more often, I could not read because it just became harder to keep my attention on it. Which I did not understand that I had ADHD. Until now, at my age, I've got my printed out solo RPG stuff and my solo board game stuff. And it is hard to read anything. One rule book from a solo board game can be past me. I have one game, Age of... Oh my God. It's a space game where the plan is you've got to build an entire empire. But it's got a lot of fiddly bits because you're tracking a lot of things. And as they're explaining it in the rule book, I have to keep rereading the same page over and over because, oh my God. I know I'm whining. Thank you very much. I know I am whining. But thank you very much for watching is what I meant. I was not a sarcastic, I know I'm whining, thank you very much for telling me. It is I know I am whining. Thank you so much for continuing to watch. It is appreciated. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about past the things that I've put up there. And with my low self-esteem going on right now, it's harder for me to talk about the creative stuff. And since it's harder for me to actually create the creative stuff, a lot of what I'm having to do is just to remember things, which is hard if you have ADHD. I got to describe it this way once again. When I was taking Ritalin, I could think, I could remember. I had a pause track and several tracks of thought that I could use. I could leap from track to track and keep everything together. I could put things on the pause track, go off and do something else, and then deliberately go, okay, time to remember this thing, bring it down, and then start thinking about it again. It was a golden and beautiful time where I did a good 90 to 95% of all the actual creative work on my setting. But then my blood pressure got up to 200 over 100, and I had to stop taking Ritalin. My blood pressure used to be like 113 over 70. So I'm on blood pressure medications, a pretty solid amount. Blood pressure is okay on the medications, but I had to amp up one of the meds to bring it down, my blood pressure. Bring the med up, bring the blood pressure down, because I tried one of the longer lasting types because I was given not good information, and that bumped up my blood pressure higher, which meant they had to up the dose higher. I have now given up any sort of hope that there is a medication out there that I can take that won't just bring my lifespan down immensely. So I've given up hope of even looking. I take 2 ADHD meds. One of them is Wellbutrin, an antidepressant, which has been helping my state of mind. I'd be in a much worse state right now without it. But that's an ADHD med, side label thing. And then another one is a blood pressure med. I've been given conflicting information, told by my primary care provider that it is a weaker medication. Looked it up in the online stuff, and several of them, when they mention it, they say it is a stronger medication. So I don't know, but I take that because one of the side label things is it helps with ADHD. But when they say helps, that's like aspirin helps with pain control. Well, I take aspirin. It may help, but that's just it. It helps. And help can be anything from a pat on the back saying, you can do it, sport, to actually getting in there to, get in there and fight. But these aren't get in there and fight meds. These are pat you on the back and go, you can sit in that chair. You can stop bouncing that leg. I know you got it in you. I know you got it in you. And that's all the help they give. But you know what? It's better than no help at all. I don't really have the bouncing leg issue anymore, but that could be because of various medications. I did for ages, where I would, the old put your foot up on your toe and then bounce your heel. I can't do it with my leg, my leg, my hand, but you know the one. You bounce your leg. Yeah, I was one of those that did that. I didn't have to get up and do anything else. I didn't have to get up and walk around, but I would bounce my leg. Now, my sister, she is the one that can't sit still or be in one place for any length of time. She is always up and doing something. So, thumbs up for that. But I'm on those 2 meds, so I like the actual use that I'm getting out of them. Antidepressant, blood pressure med, but the side level use is for ADHD. But they just help with some of the minor side effects. So I had to go from the Golden City down here to a bunch of tin shacks where I could look up at the Golden City and go, I used to live there, but I got some of the effects. But then I tried this other thing that was so bad for me that now I'm down here in the landfill looking up at the tin shacks like I looked up at the Golden City when I lived in the tin shacks. Before, when I was in the tin shacks, I was there because the Golden City would kill me if I lived there. Now I am down in the landfill because living in the tin shacks will kill me. I could think when I was in the Golden City. I could remember thinking when I lived in the tin shacks. I can only remember remembering that I could think. So I worked my best to try and remember. I have, of course, done some creative work after that. The entirety of my solo RPG stuff with Karthkog, where the various the people are, with the characters and the various lands and how the world got the way it is. That's all been done since I got here. So I can be creative. It's not that everything is lost because I'm not on these medications. Being on my own, I can still do it. And I have been able to remember things. I had thought of something that I needed to buy when I was up at Walmart. And generally, if I think about it and then 6 hours later I'm going off to go to Walmart to buy stuff, I can't remember. But I remembered that I needed something. I couldn't remember what it was, but I had that vague feeling of remembering that I remembered I needed something. And I was actually, based on that feeling, able to stand off to the side, walk through, no conscious walking through, but just thinking of this that led to this, to that, and then within 10 seconds, I had remembered what it was I needed to purchase. I can't do that. I have not been able to do that, especially since I had to stop taking Ritalin. But I did it. I talk about how I'm worried that I have, or that I might have dementias or some stuff coming on because I have trouble remembering things. And then I go like, is it the ADHD? Is it because of the alcohol damage? I'm still getting better and doing things that I couldn't do before. If I was suffering from dementia, even in its beginning, I would not be regaining things. I am a born worrier. Unfortunately, I have had anxieties my whole life, but wasn't able to really tag it as what I was feeling until past 5 or so years. But I am also able to, now that I recognize it, tamp some of that down and get out of situations that will cause it to happen. If I'm on thought processes that are going to take me someplace that it's bad, I can back off. So that's good. Anyway, though, I've been talking for a very long time and I don't have anything at all to say. Thank you again so much for coming along with me on this journey of exploration. It is appreciated. I've been having trouble being online again of late because, again, my mental state because of everything. Look at the United States circa 2025 and I think you'll see, because there's two camps, there's those that can see and those that they've got a not see problem. So those that can see and those that not see. And we've got a lot of those that are not see going on in the country. So my mental status has taken a problem with all of that. But I would like to thank you for coming along with me once again. It is appreciated. So, call to action. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that'd be very cool. If you're a patron, thumbs up and thank you. Your help is appreciated. I would not have been able to eat all the way up till today without your help. Thumbs up and thank you. Oh. And for everybody that leaves me a comment, you too, well, I forgot to say, all of you Patreon patrons are beautiful and awesome people. I can't say that the people that leave comments are beautiful and awesome as well if I don't say who else is beautiful and awesome. And you are. So do not let anyone tell you that you are not. They are just lying to bring you down. And for those of you who have left a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own ways. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up or heart every comment that YouTube allows. And I answer as many comments as my nerve compression will allow, or my faltering memory. Just because I can identify a problem, I have ADHD induced memory issues. doesn't mean the problem goes away. It just means I've identified what it is. That's like saying, well, I've identified that the problem with the vehicle is this flat tire. You still got to deal with the flat tire now that you've identified it. And maybe you can't deal with the flat tire. Thumbs up. Anyway, though, I am going to edit, render, upload. I hope you get to do what you need to do today. That would be cool. But if you cannot, please do not beat yourself up. You deserve better. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very, very good thing. Oof, nah. I am tired. Just not exhausted like I was yesterday. So I should have a Disco Elysium video today as well. And that would be a good thing. So thumbs up. Yay. You take care. I gotta lean forward and grab my mouse so I can click here so I can do this. Yeah, I don't do the polished, only the things that matter, hypercut, cut out everything that's not directly related to it sort of videos. They're exhausting to watch. I like the more just personality talking type. So anyway, you take care.